So let me show you some of the ways that I try to do this style at first that I realized very quickly was not gonna work. Okay. One of the things that I wanted to do was to go ahead and take this under and tie it and then start wrapping, so it could be really secure. But one of the things I realized with that method is that it would become bulky at the top, and it's already bulky as it is without tying a knot more at the top than any other place. So I decided not to do that because I didn't want my braids to be super bulky at the beginning of the braid. So once I realized I wasn't going to do that, I decided to go ahead and just take it under like I showed you guys, and then wrap around. But one of the things I tried to do at first when I did that method is I would wrap around a little bit extra carefully. But then once I would start to get going, I was starting to go like this. So I thought that might work. But remember what I told you guys about the fact that you really need that one hand being secure and keeping one of the your actual braid from moving. Well, as you can see right now, my real braid is moving, and so if I were to let go, it just looks like a twisty, and that's not what you want. But then also, what I try to do instead of doing that, I try to so I started to hold it, but what I was doing was just going really carefully down and not overlapping my yarn. So I was just going really carefully down the braid but not overlapping, so it would look really clean and nice. But the same thing happens when you do that. It unravels, and you can't really tell it's unraveling right here. But if I were to go all the way down and it not being that tight and not being overlapped, it's not going to stay. But by overlapping the hair, not only are you making sure that it's going to stay, you are giving it a more realistic look to the dreads. Because dreads aren't perfect. They're bumpy. They have different widths to them from when people went and got their hair locked up and stuff like that. And so this just doing it that way, overlapping and giving different widths to different parts of the yarn and stuff like that helps. And there's little bumps somewhere where I braided my weave to keep going. So like one of the things I had to do was, like, if I still had yarn from the braid and say that the wrapping yarn stopped right here, but I still had yarn from the braid and I clearly need to keep wrapping, but I ran out of yarn to wrap with, I would take another piece of yarn where it stopped and I would tie one little knot, and then keep going. So the knot from right there would cause more depth and dimension in the braid. So, and some other things. So that's pretty much like some ways that I tried to do the braid, and it was a fail. But I got it together. One thing that a few people had for advice with doing these was to prepare beforehand, so to get all your yarn ready, so you can cut down on having to do that while doing your hair. So just cutting down on your preparation time. But what I found, I wouldn't suggest that. I understand why someone would suggest that, and it makes perfect sense, but I wouldn't recommend doing that, because say you did all your yarn and cut all your yarn for wrapping and braiding, and then say for some reason it isn't the way you wanted it to be, it wasn't the length that you needed it to be, but you already cut a million pieces of yarn, you just really, like, now you're either stuck doing it that way, or you just wasted a whole lot of yarn pretty much. So I wouldn't say to do that, because I mean, if I would have did that, I really would have been messed up in life, because I started to realize, well, I don't want it this way, or I don't want it that way, or this size isn't working, so now I need to make it longer. So if I would have did that, I really would have messed myself up if I would have cut them all at once. So yeah, but it is really irritating having to prepare and get the yarn together. So I mean, I don't know what to do about that for you, but it is really aggravating, just a heads up. Also, what was something that I wanted to say? I used, what is it called? I used 2 packs of yarn, and then maybe half of a third pack for this length. And let me show y'all my actual length. So these are my yarn dreads. So with looking at all of them together, they just come a little bit below my boob. But if you really look closely, some of the longest pieces of dreads go to my waist. And I am 4'10" and a half. Okay. Don't forget the half. So this goes to my waist. And I have a short torso. The longest part of me is my legs. But yeah, so my dreads are pretty long, okay? What else? Let me get the type of yarn that I use so I can show you, and I'm gonna actually tell you guys the yards that's on. So this is the type of yarn I use. This is the type of yarn that most YouTubers used. So this is the Red Heart Super Saver No Dye Lot, whatever that means. And I brought the 364 yards, or 333 I'm guessing meters. It just says 333 m, but it's 364 yards. So this is the smaller bundle. So the 364 yards is the smaller one, and the biggest one is like 764 or something. It's pretty much around the same amount no matter which one you get. So the actually the bigger one is probably cheaper. So the bigger one I think was around $5.88 or something like that, and then these were $2.88. But I bought these before I even knew there was a bigger one. So I just found the brand, and well, I found the type, because you need to use 100% acrylic yarn, because your hair will dread up if you use cotton. So I just found a black one that said acrylic, and I remembered that this was the brand that most YouTubers use. So I was like, okay, cool, I'm gonna just get this. And this was the only size I saw, and it wasn't the only size they had. They didn't even have the bigger size in the black, and I didn't pay attention to any of the other colors. I didn't pay attention to sizes. I just saw that this was black and it was acrylic, and I was about to get it, and that's it. But if I would have even realized that there was a bigger package and it might have been cheaper, then I would have paid attention, or if the YouTubers would have mentioned the yards, I would have paid attention. So yes, this is 364 yards, and I used 2 packs, 2.5 packs basically of this kind. But if you get the big one, you basically will end up doing the same. You could get a big one and then get one small one, and it'll be the same amount as what I used. Also, let me tell you, boo-boo, these dreads are freaking heavy. I can't do this. Like, I don't even understand why these are so heavy. And honestly, to be truthful with you, I don't even know if I really like them. But your girl spent all week doing these. So, these about to stay in for about 2 months on life. Okay. But, I don't really know if, I don't think there was anything else that I really had to tell you guys real quick that I used. This is the Shea Butter Leave-In Conditioner. So this is Cant 2. This is the grease that I used. Indian Hemp Softy. So this is the one with the little black seeds in it. Or black dots, whatever it is.
It's time to go. Leave it up to me, it's my time to blow. My time to blow. It's time to go. Leave it up to me, it's my time to blow. My time to blow. It's time to go. Leave it up to me, it's my time to blow. My time to blow. My time to blow. Leave it up to me, it's my time to blow. It's time to go. Leave it up to me, it's my time to blow. My time to blow. It's time to go. Leave it up to me, it's my time to blow. My time to blow. It's time to go. Leave it up to me, it's my time to blow. My time